Monique here, Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are going to be making a cat toy and we're going to start that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here, Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are going to be making an orange slice cat toy. You are going to need some 4-ply medium worsted weight yarn. You're going to need a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, scissors, darning needle, catnip, and a piece of scrap material that measures roughly 6 inches by 4 inches. That's what I used. You can go smaller if you want. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with the white. And we are going to cross our yarn. We are going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to go into that first chain. Now I wrap my tail around my hook. And then we are going to put 6 single crochets into the center. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We are going to slip stitch into that first stitch. Make your loop big. Cut a bit of a tail. Pull your tail through your loop. Pull tight. If you did the center correctly, when you pull that, it'll cinch it right up. Okay? So now where your knot is, we're going to go back into there. We're going to take our orange. And I'm going to hold it at the back with one finger, pull it through the stitch, and I'm going to chain up 1. Now in each stitch around, we're going to work 2 single crochets. Go in the stitch, pull through, yarn over through the 2 loops. So we're doing 2 in each until we have a total of 12 stitches. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm going to move that tail towards the back. We are going to slip stitch into the first stitch, not the chain. Okay. Chain up 1, and now we're going to start on a 3rd round. To do our 3rd round, we are going to do multiples of 3. We'll go 1 and 2, go in that first stitch. 3, which is the multiple, is on its own. 4 and 5 together. 6 on its own. 7 and 8 together. 9 on its own. You're going to repeat this until you have 18 stitches and meet me back. Okay, I'm on my 18th stitch. I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch, chain up 1. Now we're working in multiples of 4. Now if you lose track because you had to set this down for some reason, your first ridge here is 1. Second ridge is 2. This was 3. So you know you're starting your 4th ridge, which means you're working in multiples of 4. So we're going to go 1 and 2 in the first stitch. 3 is on its own. And 4 is on its own. 5 and 6 together. 7 is on its own, and 8 is the multiple, so it's on its own. And since you know it's the multiple, you know the next one is a 2-stitcher. 9 and 10 together. These are all single crochets. 11 on its own. 12 is the multiple. So you do this until you have 24 stitches. Meet me back. Okay, so I'm at my 24 stitches. I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch. Chain up 1. So we've done 1 ridge, 2 ridges, 3 ridges, 4 ridges. We're on our 5th ridge, which means multiples of 5. So 2 in the first, 1, 2, 3 is on its own, 4 is on its own, and 5 is the multiple. That means we start a new section. 6 and 7 go together. 8 is on its own. 9 is on its own. 10 is the multiple. I want you to do this until you have 30 stitches. Meet me back. Okay, I have 30 stitches, so I'll go into that very first stitch and do my slip stitch. I'm making my loop just a bit big, cutting my yarn, and then I'll put my tail through my loop. Pull tight. Where that knot is, we're going to go back into that stitch. We're attaching the white. I'm going to hold the white to the back of my work. We're going to pull through and chain up 1. So now we've got 1 ridge, 2 ridges, 3 ridges, 4 ridges, 5 ridges. So this is ridge number 6. We're working in multiples of, you said it, we're working in multiples of 6. Still single crochet. 2 in the first, 3 is on its own, 4 is on its own, 5 is on its own, 6 is the multiple, which means we have to start a new section. 7 and 8 together, 9 on its own, 10 on its own, 11 on its own, 12 is the multiple. I want you to continue until you have 36 stitches, then meet me back. Okay, I'm at my 36th stitch. I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain, pull through, make my loop big, cut my yarn, put through the loop, pull tight. Now you're going to go to the back of your work and you're going to hide all these threads. If you want to put knots in some of them, you can do that. It's no big deal because it's just going to get tucked in when we make our slice. Okay, so hide your threads. I'll put a link in the description for my tutorial on how to hide threads like a pro. Yeah, and I always put lots of goodies in my description, so be sure to check those out. Okay, so hide your threads. Meet me back. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I've hidden my threads. So you're going to ask what this little baggie of ends is. Well, when I cut off a tail or whatever, and it's particularly long, I have this little bag that I keep in my to-go bag, which I will link in the description, my knitting and crocheting go bag. And I just use this to do little faces and different things like that. So yeah, that's where I got my thread to do the lines of the orange. So here's where we're going to do the lines. We are going to start in the middle, coming off of one of the points of the center, and we're going to take our thread until we have a little bit of a tail, and I'm just going to hang on to it. I'm going to go up 2 rows to this circle, and then I'm going to go up to the top to where the white is, and then I'm going to go back to the center here. Okay, then I'm going to move over a few rows, and I'm going to go here, And then I'm going to go down to where the peak of the, see how I've got little peaks? And then I'm going to go up to the white and go back down to the center. Then I'm going to move over a few rows. I'm lining up, I'm coming out the center, but I'm lining up with my peak at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to go to that peak, go back to the center, and meet up with the peak at the top. Move over, line up with this peak. Whoops, where am I? I'm at that. So I'm lining up with this peak, so I want to come out on the white, go to the center, keep that tail out of the way, and then go to the peak, go back to the center, move over a few rows, line up with the peak, go down to the peak, back to the center, go up, move over so that you're lined up with the peak, down to the center, down to the peak, up to the center, go to the center, lining up with that peak. You see the little peak? I hope you're seeing the peaks. And then go to the center, go out through the top at the peak. So this is what you've got. This is your orange slice. So now we're going to go to the back and we're going to tie a knot. We don't want to tie it so tight that it distorts the stitches on the other side. So there we go. And I'm just going to triple knot it. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of longer ends. And then there we go. That part's done. Now the next part is, okay, now you need that piece of material I was talking about. Okay, so it's roughly 6 inches by 4 inches. You're going to need your catnip. I just get my catnip from the dollar store. And I'm going to use a teaspoon. I'm just going to take a teaspoon, put it in the center of my material. Now, I am going to put one side over and just roll the rest. Then we're going to take this and we're going to tie it into a knot. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to put our crochet hook through the 2 end stitches. Taking our orange, we're going to hold this on the one side and your wrong sides are together. We're going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and we're switching to half double crochet. So we're going to put yarn over through both sides, so stitches on both sides, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. In the next set of stitches, so we're taking the stitch from this side and the stitch, from this side, we're pulling through and we're going through all 3 loops. So see how we've done like 2, so the chain counts as 1 and then a half double crochet. Then we did 1. Now we're going to do 2 through both stitches. Okay. And we're going to do this all the way across to close it up. So you want to take that catnip and stick it in there. And now you're going to close it up around that catnip. Okay, so do that to the end. You're doing two half double crochets, a single half double crochet, two half double crochets, single half double crochet, all the way to the other end. Then meet me back. When you get to the last stitches, I want you to do 2, no matter if you just did 2. So see, I just did 2. I'm going to go into the last stitches. I'm going to do 2 more. And look, I was playing yarn chicken, but I made it. Okay, so make your loop big, put your tail through your loop, pull tight, and there you go, guys. That is your orange slice cat toy. Hide your threads and make as many as you want. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I'd love to know where you're watching from. And don't forget to check that description. There's all kinds of goodies in the description. Okay, hide your threads and you're done. Bye now.